Hello everyone. Hola. It's a pleasure to be here with you today to present how to collect and use open access World Bank data to know your country. My name is Bruno T. Tomio. I'm a PhD student at the University Grenoble-Alpes, and I'm also an assistant professor of economics at the University of Blumenau. You can find in my presentation the repository, the GitHub repository, so you can fork this presentation and all the scripts to replicate all the graphs, all the figures that I'm going to present you today. First of all, let's give you a general view. So World Bank data in R, to do that we may use the WDI package. WDI, it's the acronym for World Development Indicators, and it allows us to access the API of the World Bank. So the advantages are that we can have reproducible research, we can have annual, quarterly, and monthly data in long format, which is very useful for data wrangling, data management in R. We can collect, plot, analyze, and estimate econometric models, for example, in the same free software. So it's very, very useful. Some important links. Here's the link for the package website developed by Vincent Arrow Bundock. And here is the data bank to check variables details. And also there is an alternative package to do basically the same thing. It's called WB Stats, and you can use it also to access the World Bank API. Okay, let's continue to some hands-on. This is all based on the package website. To install the package, you just proceed with install package WDI. The first and most useful command is to search for data. So for that, you can use WDI search. And here is an example to search for GDP, which stands for Gross Domestic Product, which is basically all the things that one country produces at a specific period. You can also create an object in the global environment to easily navigate all the variables with this keyword. For example, there is several variables which have GDP within it. Here is two examples of how to collect the data. For example, GDP per capita for France and Brazil. These are the commands that you proceed. We are creating an object here, indicator, and from this indicator we are creating a new data frame which uses the command WDI from the WDI package. So here we have the indicator that we just set with its name and code, with which we just extracted from the object with all the GDP variables or indicators. We are also setting the countries here for France and Brazil using the ISO 2C code. And here we are just setting the end period 2019. So here we have the head for this new data set, this data frame. And we are also proceeding for the GDP per capita in constant values and also in dollar values. In constant local currency unit, LCU. So here's the variable in constant dollars, and here's the LCU variable. And as you can see, we have two columns here, one for GDP per capita in dollars, in constant dollars, constant $2010, and the local currency unit variable. So we can use this data frame to plot the data using ggplot2. Here's just a simple example of these two variables that we just collected, that one object. Here we're going to use both variables that we collected in that two. And what we changed from the previous graph, we are using ggtemps to use the same scale colors as the Economist. So it's Tem Economist here, the British magazine. And here we are adding the caption for each variable. One in solid and one, here's the solid in US in constant dollars, 2010 constant dollars, and the other is in local currency unit, the dashed one. To get more details on the indicators, we can use the double DI data, and from that we can collect the data series. So as you can see here, by the column names of this object that we just created, we can have the indicator, the source, the name, and also description. So here's the description for the GDP. And we can also extract the geographical selection, the geographical data. So longitude and latitude and other components and other indicators too for several countries. Oops, sorry. And we can plot that for several countries. So here we are focusing on the number of individuals using the internet as a percentage of population. And as you can see, we are also focusing on Latin American and the Caribbean, on Latin American countries and Caribbean countries. So we can plot that using FACEIT-REP. And here's the plot that we have with all Latin American and Caribbean countries. So let's proceed with some cool graphs using the word data and also with some animations. So first of all, we are plotting the word data here for this indicator, which is the self-employed in 2019. So we proceeded with this code to grab the name, to grab the source. So we don't have to type it. We are going to use these objects here. As you can see here in source and name in the labs, in the ggplot object. We are removing Antarctica here just for a clear exposition of the graph, of the plot, sorry. And here's the plot. So quite nice. As you can see, we have the whole world with the data plotted on it. This is a second graph using 2008 data. So we just changed the yellow, what's in yellow here. And then we have this plot here. And finally, a third one, we can have the self-employed in 1991, for example. And here's the plot. Okay, so moving on. We are using here the GDP per capita. So in yellow you can see what we have changed from the first code, the code map 1. Here's the plot. Then here's another variable, another indicator, unemployment rate as a percent of the population in February 2020. So as you can see, monthly data. And finally, we have the life expectancy at birth. female, and in years. And here's the plot. So what we're going to do now, we are going to generate an animation. So we are going to use the library GGAnimate. And as we have shown, we use the self-employed for separate graphs. But now we are going to use it we are going to plot it in several years using an animation. So as you can see, we add here transition states from the GGAnimator library, and this is the result. So you can see here the data, the year changing, and I hope you can see also the colors changing. So it's quite nice to plot, to show in a presentation, to show in your work. A second map here using GDP per capita, a second animation, sorry. And here's the animation. So here we have a longer period. As you can see, when gray changes to colors, that the data becomes available. Finally, life expectancy at birth, female and years. So it's starting in 1970 and until 2018. And then we have this plot here. So it's quite nice to see that the whole world is going in a positive direction within this indicator. So it's quite nice to see how your country is compared to the others in an animated figure, and you can share this on the internet, or you can show this on your presentations. So it's quite nice. Finally, let's see some figures using the Hans Hosling's Gapminder. So here is the code for we are using 3 indicators: life expectancy, GDP per capita, and population. We are creating an object with the data from the World Bank. We are using this to extract the information from the countries. And here's the code for the ggplot object. So here's the first graph. So for 2018, and here's another one. So the difference here is that we are using the library ggRepel to highlight some countries, for example. So here we want to highlight countries that have a life expectancy higher than 84 years, and also countries that have a life expectancy lower than 55. Sorry. Here's the plot. So in here at the top right of the graph, we can see the countries that have a life expectancy higher than 84 years. Only 3 countries. And here we can see the countries that have a very low life expectancy. So we could do this using the library ggRepel. So finally, we are going to highlight countries that have a population higher than 90 million. So we have some countries there, some Latin American countries, Brazil and Mexico. So we are well present in this figure. Thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed. Hope you have enjoyed. And I'm here at the chat, or you can find me on my email or on Twitter if you have any doubt on how to collect data using the DDI package, or if you want to share your experience. I'll be grateful to hear from you. Thank you very much, and see you